Okay.
Hey Josh, good to see you, man.
Hey, what's up? Good to
Um,
see you.
I wanted to ask you what the last couple of weeks was like, especially as a captain without coaches out of practice, and just in general, his absence. Does that kind of reinforce what it sounds like the coaches have been telling you guys about things can change in a quick moment this year and the ability to stay flexible and things like that?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Especially in a time like this, that's one thing that all the coaches have been emphasizing is that we just have to be able to make those right adjustments and to be able to just go with the flow of things because the way everything is right now, it's no certainty, and so when it's not that much certainty around us, we have to have consistency within ourselves and within our team. And so when you build that consistent mindset and just be consistent in everything that you do, when you see uncertainty around you, it won't necessarily affect you. And so, there's one thing that Coach has been, doing a great job with us. All along he has prepared us. He didn't actually know that was going to happen, but with the way that he was speaking to us about everything, he prepared us for that. And I think that speaks volumes with the type of leader that he is. But most importantly, when he did leave, our assistant coaches, they did a great job as well. And I think that speaks volumes of the people that Coach has around him in terms of his staff. And so everybody just kind of just pitched in, a little bit more. Of course, it was different that our head leader wasn't there, but he prepared us for it, and I think we handled it well, and we got better.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to Matt Sharper from the Detroit News. You're not chopped liver, man.
Thanks, Max. Josh, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm fabulous now that Max hasn't blown me off for the night. So, I got to ask. It's been we've talked a lot about how it's been so long since you've been on the court and everything you've gone through, but to now know that in about a day and a half or less or roughly you're going to be back out on the court. Have you tried to process that at all, or have you anticipated how it's going to feel when you finally do get back out there for an actual game?
Yeah, I've thought about it a good amount of times. But I don't know what it's gonna be like, man. I haven't played in 2 years, and then with how everything is gonna be different, in terms of no fans and stuff like that. It's definitely gonna be different for me because I haven't played in 2 years, but I also haven't played in an atmosphere like this as well. Um, and so I think it's gonna be a lot of different emotions. Ultimately, I'm just thankful that the Lord has allowed me to be able to come back, and He's put great people around me to get me back. My trainer our trainer Nick Ritchie, our strength coach Marshall Rep, and then just my teammates who were constantly supporting me, my coaches who was constantly supporting me, and then my family as well, who were constantly supporting me. And so, just to be back on the court, I know it's going to be special because I know it's not just going to be about me, but it's going to be about the people, who were around me and helping me get back on the court. And so I'm just excited, man. I'm just thankful.
Do you have any expectations in terms of how many minutes? Are there any limits, or are you limited at all, or in terms of how much you can play, or is it just go out and play?
I'm just out there playing, man. I'm just gonna go out there and see what's what, and just embrace the moment.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll go to Dalton Shetler and then to Chris Solari.
Hey Josh, good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too. It's really interesting. You talk about the support system you had and the teammates that you have. Last time you played, you mentioned it was 2 years ago. You had Cassius Winston, Kenny Goins, Matt McQuaid, all these guys out here, and now it's a completely different regime. What is it like, kind of still being at the core as time goes by and welcome in this new era of Spartan teammates? And what would you say is the best part of this current cast going into this year?
I think it's definitely been new to me, just because if I'm being really honest with you, I didn't expect to be in college for 5 years, so definitely been an adjustment, but it's been exciting, just because I can kind of pour into those guys and just try to tell them certain things that I didn't get earlier on, and that, if they can get it before me, or they can get it faster than I got it, that definitely can help them. So I've just been trying to just give them wisdom, on how to be able to do certain things and just be coachable and listen and, so many different things that I didn't necessarily get, when I was a sophomore, when I was a freshman, and when I was a junior, that, I want to give to them so that they can get it and that they can go faster and move quicker than I moved. And so, I mean, when you think about the core, or you think about the attitude of this team, it's definitely like every Michigan State team in terms of, we're going to be tough, we're going to run, we're going to rebound, we're going to defend, we're going to play Michigan State basketball. And I think, what's unique about this team is that, we just kind of, we have so much across the board, just 1 through 5. So I think it's going to be very interesting just to see, what happens this year. And it's going to be exciting because I expect a lot out of this team. Mm-hmm.
Next question's from Chris Larry from Detroit Free Press.
Hey Josh, good to see you again, man.
Good to see you.
I wonder, you've obviously spent the early part of your career running next to Cassius, running next to Tom. What have you seen the difference maybe with Rocket and running the point, and what's the difference with Foster running the point right now for you guys?
I mean, I think one is different because they're not Tom and they're not Cassius. They're Rocket and Foster. So, and I think with Foster, he's a little bit more comfortable at that position because he's played that position. Rocket is a little different for Rocket because he hasn't necessarily, been a dominant one. He's kind of more or less a combo guard, a guy that can really just put the ball in the basket. But ultimately, it's been an adjustment for him. But I think he's done a great job with it. And, Foster has done a great job as well. And I think that, you can see that with him being elected to be a captain. But, both of those guys have been doing a great job, with trying to run the team and just try to be the leaders and to be the head guys that we need to look at, throughout the course of practice and throughout the course of the season.
We'll go next to Larry Beige from the Associated Press.
What's up, Josh?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Really good. This team's picked to finish 4th in the Big Ten, which is unusual. I'm wondering if that is used as any sort of motivation with the team.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But I think you want to be, motivated, but you don't want to be motivated by outside things, because when you're motivated by outside things, when you actually prove that outside thing, you kind of lose your motivation. That motivation is not necessarily, genuine motivation. You're actually being motivated by something else and not what's within you. And so we're not necessarily looking at, what's going on in terms of seeding and different things like that. Obviously, we want to be considered high, but at the end of the day, that's not why we're trying to go win. That's not why we're trying to be the best that we can be. We're trying to be the best that we can be is because inwardly, as a core group, we've said that we want to achieve high-level things. Whether somebody sees that in us or not, that doesn't really matter. We just want to go out and do our jobs every day and give it 110%.
More questions. We'll go to Brendan Quinn first.
Hey Josh, how are you, man?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
With Rocket, obviously has a reputation as a kind of shoot first, right, shot hunter type guy, that those are maybe his natural instincts. And what are you kind of seeing a guy who we think of as wired that way, making an adjustment to being more of a one, more of a distributor, someone who probably has to see the game maybe a little bit differently?
Well, I mean, what's unique about Rocket is that he does have that, that scores instinct, but he can make plays, and he can do that at a high level. You may not have seen that in him last year because that wasn't necessarily his role. He was playing beside Cassius Winston, probably the best point guard in the country. So he didn't necessarily have to make plays. He just had to be open and to make open shots. And so I think, you can see you will see a different side of him because his role is kind of changing. But I see him in practice every day, and I've seen him even last year. He can make plays, and he does it really well. I just think it'll be an adjustment for him because he hasn't played that position here at Michigan State. But, he's well capable of doing it because of how talented he is and how well of a coaching staff we have in terms of how they take time and really teach us the game. So I'm not really worried about will he be able to do it because I know how great of a player he is.
And I'm sure, as you know, all your synergy numbers in the last couple of years with Cassius, you guys are up there among the nation's leaders in reliance on ball screens and him kind of creating out of ball screens. I imagine it's going to look a lot different without him and with Rocket playing a lot at the one. What is that transition looking like from your vantage point?
I mean, I think we're doing a good job. Like I said, cash is cash. So if when we lost Kenny Goins, it was an adjustment for him because that's a player that you're used to playing with that you don't have anymore. And so anytime you lose a player, it's definitely going to be an adjustment. With Cash being a great player for us, it's going to be a big adjustment. But like I said, I think we have a great coaching staff who's done an unbelievable job with preparing us and, getting us adjusted to that new look. And, one thing that we're going to always do, we're going to run and transition. That's something that Michigan State always does. And a lot of our points come from, our transition. And so, nothing has changed. We're still Michigan State, and we're going to go out and play Michigan State basketball, and we're going to win. And so, that's what we're going to do.
Thanks, Josh.
Yes, sir.
We're going to go to Stephen Brooks for the last question.
Hey, Josh, I wanted to ask you about Rocket as well. What have you seen from him this offseason? What type of things was he working on to adjust to this role? And just behind the scenes, whether it's on the court or how he's carrying himself, just what type of differences have you noticed from him in year two as he tries to take on this new role, like you said, that he hasn't had at Michigan State?
I mean, well, obviously, you have to make sure you watch film. I mean, if you want to be a great basketball player, you have to be a great film watcher, anyways. But when I think about the things that Rocket has been doing this summer, one thing I really have noticed is that how he's been watching film because, like I said, he's making that adjustment from being, the two to the one. So he has to watch film. He has to, see things that he didn't see before and just try to sharpen his basketball IQ. Not that he doesn't have a great IQ, but anytime you make a switch like that, it's going to be an adjustment. So one thing that he has been doing, he's been watching film. He's been, doing the things that he needs to do in terms of getting with Michael Garland, OG, the point guard coach, and Coach Is, and, discussing things and trying to get the plays down. And then, he's been in the gym, working on his skills. And, one thing about Rocket is that, he's going to push and he's going to give all he has no matter where he's at and no matter what he's doing. And so, I'm just excited for him, because I know that, he's well capable of doing anything on the court because of how, how high skill, because of the high skill level that he has. So.
Josh, thanks so much for taking the time.
Yep. Thank you, guys.